Last week we had a minyan. What happened this week? It's going. It's running. Okay. So the shir this week will be a hemshech to what we spoke about last week. You were here last week?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So last week we spoke about Maimer Azal, Medrash, and it's mashma so on the Gemara also in some places that L'asad Lavoi, Yerushalayim is going to be mispashit in all of Erets Yisrael. And Erets Yisrael is going to be mispashit in the entire world. So this is something which sounds like a nevuah, which is negated to the kedusha of Eretz Yisrael. That I mentioned last week that Al Tereb and Lukot HaTorah says this beferish, that the point of this Maimer Azal is that Yerushalayim is a place that is greater Gilia Lakus there. There's more kedusha there. Asad Lavai, the kedusha of Yerushalayim, will extend outward into the whole Eretz Yisrael, and the kedusha of Eretz Yisrael will extend into the whole world. That's the simple pshat of this inyan. The shaila though is there any relevance of this inyan b'negei lahalacha, b'negei lahalacha b'payil? That's the shaila. What are the halachas that pertain to Yerushalayim? So you have the two basic halachas b'negei to Yerushalayim, which are the din of karbonis, kachim of karbonis, kachim kalim. You can eat in the entire Yerushalayim. Kachim is only in the Azara. Kachim kalim is not entire Yerushalayim. So la'asad lavai. If Yerushalayim will be mispashit into the whole Eretz Yisrael, so then l'chayre you should be allowed to eat kachim kalim in all of Eretz Yisrael. It's one halacha that's negeya. Another halacha that's negeya is the halacha of Ma'aseh Sheni. That you're supposed to bring the Ma'aseh Sheni into Eretz Yisrael, into Yerushalayim, and eat it after there. So does it mean that l'asad lavai, anybody living in Eretz Yisrael could eat Ma'aseh Sheni wherever he is in Eretz Yisrael? Because of all of Eretz Yisrael, as the din of Yerushalayim. Right. You're not supposed to leave Erets Yisrael stamazay without a reason that you're going to learn Torah or for a mitzvah, a certain heterim. So l'asad lavai, the shaila is if that won't apply anymore. The entire world will be Erets Yisrael. It's a good point. Yeah, so there's a marsha that says beferish. I mentioned last week that this is something that the Gemara is saying la halacha. Marsha says beferish that asad lavai you can eat kachim kalim and ma'aseh sheni in the entire Erets Yisrael. But then there are other halachas, there are other things that are negated to the city of Yerushalayim. There's actually a Gemara in Baba Kama that lists 10 things that's unique about Yerushalayim. And the question is whether all those 10 things that it says negated to Yerushalayim will then, l'asad lavai, apply negated to the entire Eretz Yisrael. Some of the 10 things are, I don't have the full list here, but some of the 10 things are the din of Irani Dachas, the din of Egla Rufa, the din of Negoyim, the house, when a house has an ega, you don't do any of these things in Yerushalayim. There's other halachas also, which there's a takanas chazal not to do in Yerushalayim. Like in Yerushalayim, you don't keep any garbage there. Certain things also for Yerushalayim, that it should remain a beautiful city, and a holy city near the Beis HaMikdash. But here I'm talking about these halachas, Irani Dachas, Egla Rufa, Negoyim. These are halachas that min ha-Torah, they're not done in Yerushalayim. So the question is, whether l'asad lavai, does it mean that any of these halachas won't apply to the whole Eretz Yisrael? For the same reason. What? Irani Dachas is l'chayre not. Egla Rufa. And the Goyim. Yeah. I mean, the question is what kufa? And maybe in the first kufa, in the beginning. I mean, we saw already a few times that in the first kufa when Moshiach comes, it's shaykh to have these in Yanam l'chayre. So that's the shaila. What's going to be with the things that the Gemara says when they get to Yerushalayim doesn't mean that l'asad lavai all of Eretz Yisrael is going to be mamish like Yerushalayim itself. No, it doesn't say that here. No, Kedusha of the Beis HaMikdash remains in its place. Chayre. So now the thing is, what's unique about Yerushalayim? So b'pashtus, what's unique about Yerushalayim is that it's a holy city. It's a heilige Stadt. When the pasuk in Re'ei, Parshas Re'ei, talks about the fact that David chose the place for the Beis HaMikdash, it also talks about the fact that David chose the city of Yerushalayim to be the place where he will dwell there. And the Kedusha of Yerushalayim is because of the fact that the Eibusher chose the city. So Yerushalayim is a place that has a unique Kedusha to it. It's not just another city of Erets Yisrael. But many of the halachas that apply to Yerushalayim, and some of the halachas that I mentioned before, l'cha'ira has nothing to do with the fact that Yerushalayim is a holy city and so on, but it's simply because of another reason, and that is that Yerushalayim is a city that when they divided the entire Erets Yisrael for all the Shvatim, Yerushalayim was a city that loy nischal kol Shvatim. It was not divided for the 12 Shvatim. It remained a place which all Yidden collectively have the chelik of Yerushalayim, and it's not a city that was divided for any specific shevet. So many different... Wait, we'll get to that in a second. Good. But this is what it says in a few places. That Yerushalayim lo nischal kol Shvatim. It was not divided for Shvatim, and therefore the halachas before, Iran Idachas, Aglaruf, and Agayim, all these halachas, the reason why they don't apply in Yerushalayim is not because Yerushalayim is a holier city, but because there's limudim from Psukim that these halachas only apply to those cities that were divided to the Shvatim. Yerushalayim was not divided to the Shvatim. So the question becomes, how about the rest of Erets Yisrael? The rest of Erets Yisrael, even if it's true that lost love Yerushalayim is going to be nispashet in the entire Erets Yisrael, that's only true when you get to the Kedusha of Yerushalayim. The holiness of the city will be nispashet to the rest of Erets Yisrael. Umemela, as I mentioned before, you'll be allowed to eat kochim, ma'aser sheni in all the cities of Erets Yisrael. But when you get to this prat, that Yerushalayim is a city that was never divided for the Shvatim, you can't say that when you get to the rest of Erets Yisrael. Adarabah, there's a beferish nevuah when you get to Erets Yisrael, and I spoke about this once, that Lasad Lavi, the Eibusher is going to redo the whole Chalukah again from scratch. That the Chalukah, Lasad Lavi, the Eibusher will come and do over the Chalukah for all 13 Shvatim, which means even Shevet Levi will be included in the Chalukah Lasad Lavi. The beferish will be a Chalukah of all of Erets Yisrael Lasad Lavi. So you can't say that the whole Erets Yisrael will have the same din as Yerushalayim, that it's not in Nischal Kol Shvatim. So it's l'chayre pashut and mukhrach and clear that Eretz Yisrael is going to be different than Yerushalayim, because Yerushalayim is not Nischal Kol Shvatim. So the Ma'aseh says Hazay. This shaila over here, when you get to Eretz Yisrael, when you get to the Chalukah of Shvatim, this is not only Negeya Lasad Lavi. This is something which is also was Negeya in the past, because the halacha is that Yerushalayim has certain boundaries, but the Sanhedrin, if they want, they can be meisif on the boundaries of Yerushalayim. It's a halacha in the Rambam in Hilchos Beis Abchira that there's a way how it's done with the two korbanos teida. There's a different process how it's done. You could be meisif on Yerushalayim. Yes, in Yeshua, I think it's the original boundaries of Yerushalayim. But then they could be meisif on Yerushalayim. So when you meisif, so the shaila is not only when you get to Lasad Lavi, the shaila is when you get to those places that they were meisif in the boundaries that it actually happened. There's a Gemara in Shavuos that says that it actually happened one time, that they were meisif on Yerushalayim. So what happened to that area that they were meisif on Yerushalayim? Was that like Yerushalayim itself? That's not shaykh to any particular shevet? Or the chelik that they're meisif on Yerushalayim, they were meisif. It's a separate thing. So it's not only a shaila about Lasad Lavi, but it's a shaila about the past also. So the Ma'aseh says, this whole thing that we're saying here, that Yerushalayim lo nischal kol Shvatim, is far from pashut. Why? Because as you mentioned before, it says beferish that the Beis Hamikdash, at least let's start with the Mizbeach. The Mizbeach was Nechelka Shel Binyamin, right? A certain chelik of the Mizbeach between Binyamin and Yehuda, right? And the chelik of the Mizbeach was the chelik of Binyamin, and that's why it says when you get to Binyamin Ze'ev Yitraf, that he's taidif to Karbonis. So it says beferish that Yerushalayim was Nischal Kol Shvatim for Binyamin and Yehuda. So that was the shaila that many Mefarshim ask. On one hand, the Gemara says Lo Nischal Kol Shvatim. On the other hand, it says that it is Nischal Kol Binyamin and Yehuda. What's going on? So there are a few terutzim for this. One of the terutzim that the Mefarshim give is that l'chatchila there was a chalukah for the Shvatim. L'chatchila there was when they came to be. If you look in the Psukim in Yeshua, and it talks about the Chalukah of Erets Yisrael, you'll see there, it's beferish, it's clear that Yerushalayim, the city Yerushalayim was a chelik of the Chalukah when they divided Erets Yisrael. Yerushalayim was part of the Chalukah. They divided. Elamai, what happened? Then, when they came to build the Beis HaMikdash in Yerushalayim, which was many hundreds of years later, the Mishkan was in Shiloh for hundreds of years. When they came to build the Beis HaMikdash in Yerushalayim, so then the Chalukah of the Shvatim in Yerushalayim was Nizbatel. Because only after they built the Beis HaMikdash, then the Chalukah was Nizbatel, and then the Chalakim that belonged to Shevet Binyamin and Shevet Yehuda, they gave up their portion for the binyan of the Beis HaMikdash, and not only in the place of the Beis HaMikdash, the whole city which is chosen for the Beis HaMikdash, they gave up their chelik. And there's a Sefri in Parshas Baleischa that says that Yerichai, that there's Doishna Shal Yerichai, Yerichai, which was a place that has a fat land, a very good soil, Doishna Shal Yerichai, was kept for the people, for the Shevet, that's going to give up their portion for the Beis HaMikdash. And once they gave up their portion for the Beis HaMikdash, they moved them over to Yerichai. So l'chatchila it was Nischalka, but then later it was they were removed, they were replaced. Umemela, on one hand it's true there was a Chalukah, but at the same time it says Lo Nischalka Yerushalayim l'Shvatim. Once they were removed from their place and replaced somewhere else, so the city of Yerushalayim did not have the same halachas as all other cities in Erets Yisrael because it's Lo Nischalka l'Shvatim. Nu say bazai. Maybe the same thing will happen Lasad Lave. We don't know. Could be the same thing will happen Lasad Lave. That Yerushalayim will be mispashit into the entire Erets Yisrael. The Taka says so. But maybe l'chatchila the Eibusher will do a new Chalukah for all of Eretz Yisrael, for all the Shvatim. Like the Nevuah says that the Eibusher is going to redo the Chalukah for all of Eretz Yisrael. It's going to be the first stage. Then at a later stage, Yerushalayim will be mispashit in all of Eretz Yisrael. And once Yerushalayim will have the same kedusha of all of Eretz Yisrael will have the same kedusha of Yerushalayim. So then, just like in Yerushalayim itself, after it was nischalik to the Shvatim, those Shvatim sort of gave up their Chalukah. So then, the whole Eretz Yisrael is going to become a place which belongs to all of Yidden, and there won't be any Chalukah anymore. The Chalukah is going to be in this battle once Yerushalayim is going to be mispashit in all of Eretz Yisrael. Possible. That's one pshat. Another pshat in this is that the emes is that could be the city of Yerushalayim itself is going to change Lasad Lave. In the Sugya, in Baba Basra, this is the Gemara in Yeshneichel in Baba Basra, where it talks about the fact that the Eibush is going to redo the Chalukah of Erets Yisrael Lasad Lave. So over there in that Gemara, the Yad Ramah, one of the Rishonim, which is quoted all the time, La Halacha, one of the famous Rishonim, the Yad Ramah, says there that unlike the Chalukah Bailam Hazeh, which means the first Chalukah that was done, that Yerushalayim was not included in the Chalukah, or even if it was, but once they built the Beis HaMikdash, the Chelek of the Shvatim Yerushalayim was removed. L'Asad Lavai, Yerushalayim is going to be part of the Chalukah that the Eibusher will do. So this whole inyan that Yerushalayim, Lo Nischalka L'Shvatim, is going to be in this battle L'Asad Lavai. So not that so the whole question we're having over here is that will the whole Eretz Yisrael be like Yerushalayim? And Yerushalayim is a place that's not divided for Shvatim. Will that apply to the whole Eretz Yisrael? The answer is, according to the Ramat, Punkt Vaker. Yerushalayim Lasad Lavai will change. Lasad Lavai Yerushalayim is going to be divided for Shvatim. Umemelis, all the halachas that apply to Yerushalayim in the first and second Beis HaMikdash, because there was no Chalukah to the Shvatim, as I mentioned before, there's no din of Iranitachas, like Laruf and Goyim, because it's not Mischalek to Shvatim. Lasad Lava, Yerushalayim will be divided for Shvatim. For whatever Shevet will be Zeich in Yerushalayim. And the whole Eretz Yisrael also, even if Yerushalayim will be Mispashit in the whole Eretz Yisrael, it's going to be divided to the Shvatim. That's another, so that's the second Eifen, how to go about this inyan. And then there's a third Eifen, and this is based on the Sichos that the Rebbe said on a few occasions on this subject. The Rebbe spoke about the inyan of Yerushalayim and the Kedusha of Yerushalayim in a Fabrengen of Chofa of Tavshich of Tes. And there the Rebbe said an interesting thing. Chiddush and Pashut Geshmak Avar. The Rebbe says, you look at this inyan B'Pashtas, it seems like it's two unrelated subjects. The fact that Yerushalayim is a holy city, that the Eibush chose it as Mokim HaMikdash, and the fact that Yerushalayim is not divided for Shvatim, so B'Pashtas, most Mefarshim look at this, that these are two unrelated inyanim. It's Mokim HaMikdash, it's a holy city, it's one inyan. And there's a different inyan, that Yerushalayim is not divided to Shvatim. But the Rebbe, in the Fabrengen, there's one of Fabrengen Chaf of Tavshin Chaf Test that I ever spoke about this Indian, and the Fabrengen of Parshas Re'eh, Tavshin Mem Hey. Parshas Re'eh talks about the fact that the Eibusher chose the Mokum HaMikdash. So the Rebbe said that these two things are connected. The reason why Yerushalayim was not Nischalka L'Shvatim is mitzad the Kedusha of the place, mitzad the Kedusha of the Beis HaMikdash. So therefore, it wasn't reserved and it wasn't divided for one Shevet, but it belongs to the entire Klal Yisrael, because the Eibusher is choosing this city to be the place for all Yidden to come and serve the Eibusher in the Beis HaMikdash. It's not two separate inyanim. The Kedusha of Yerushalayim is the Sibbe why it was not Nischalka L'Shvatim. This is the place the Eibusher chose. That's one vart the Rebbe said. Then the Rebbe said another interesting vart also, when he gave to Yerushalayim, that the fact that Yerushalayim has the unique Kedusha, and that the Kedusha of Yerushalayim is never bottled. There's the famous Rambam that says that the Shittas Rambam is that the Kedusha of the Beis HaMikdash, Kitchel HaShaita, Kitchel HaSadlavi, once they were Makadosh, the place of the Beis HaMikdash, the Kedusha of the place of the Beis HaMikdash remains forever. Because the Shechina that's there is Eina B'Teila, so the Kedusha is Eina B'Teila. The Rambam in Hilchas Beis HaBchira. And the Rambam says the same thing when they get to Yerushalayim as well. That Yerushalayim is a city that the Eibusher chose, and the Shechina dwells in Yerushalayim, and the Kedusha of Yerushalayim is never bottled, even Bisman HaGolus. Yerushalayim today, Yerushalayim is a holy city. So the Rebbe says this Kedusha that Yerushalayim has, that it's never bottled, is only beneged to the actual city of Yerushalayim itself. In other words, its original borders, the original borders of Yerushalayim, which the Eibusher Taka chose. But if Sanhedrin, Chachamim come in any later generation and they add to the city of Yerushalayim those additions that they add later, and a Chanami, they have a koyach to add to the city of Yerushalayim. But hayez, those additions, the Rebbe explains, is Ma'aseh B'nei Adam. It's not what the Eibusher chose min hashamayim, but the Eibusher chose Mumayla. But it's Ma'aseh B'nei Adam. Something which is done as Ma'aseh B'nei Adam is not Nitzchi. And that's something that could be in his battle. So those areas that they were Ma'aseh to Yerushalayim, the Kedusha of those places is only there as long as the Beis HaMikdash is standing, but afterwards the Kedusha of those additional places is bottled.
If Yerushalayim is also in Kemo, so Kemo is here, now they expanded it.
Good, verstehe, but there's a difference. Good, so the Rebbe is Machalik, that is the original Kedusha. Was meint zu kommen?
It still has the boundary.
Yeah.
So it's Loizaza, it's also Loizaza.
Well, once they were Makadosh it, I understand what you're saying, but once they added to the city of Yerushalayim, for that time being, there was a koyach that they had to extend the Kedusha into their place, that they were Makadosh. I mean, it's not a pestame boundaries of the cities for the sake of taxes, that they're within the municipality of Yerushalayim or whatever, and they have to pay the taxes of the dues of the city taxes. It's been a get to the actual Kedusha. You have a koyach to extend the city of Yerushalayim. But that's something that's not nitzchiistic, though, because it's Ma'aseh B'nei Adam.
You expand 770, you take a building next door, you open the walls, it's Kedusha on the Kema, it's also part now, it becomes...
Okay. Yeah. So the Rebbe then adds another interesting vart and says, and I spoke about this last week, when you get to the city of Yerushalayim that has a chayma around it, the wall around it. So the Rebbe says that the chayma of the city of Yerushalayim is different than the chayma of other cities. The chayma around the city of Yerushalayim, the Rebbe says, it's a stam siman. It's a siman to know till where the Kedusha goes. The chayma itself is not what makes the boundary, because the Kedusha of the fact that the Eibusher chose the city, that's what makes the boundaries of the city, that's what makes the Kedusha of the city. The chayma is stam siman ba'alma. Sha'enkin, the Rebbe says, if they extend the boundaries, and then you place the chayma in the further boundaries that they extended, then the chayma over there, it's when they place the chayma in that place, that chayma is what makes the boundary. That's part of the process when they extended the city. Wherever they place down the chayma, that is what makes the boundary, because it's not min hashamayim. It's b'dei adam. It's what they are doing. So it's the chayma of the city that makes the boundaries. Okay, so what do we understand from this whole Indian? So we see over here 2 points. Number one, that there's a difference between the level of Kedusha of Yerushalayim, which happens when Hashemayim, and the Kedusha of Yerushalayim that happens when Ma'aseh B'dei Adam. Right? That's number one. Number two, we see that there's the Kedusha of Yerushalayim itself, the city of Yerushalayim, the fact that Yerushalayim is not divided for Shvatim, What's the reason why Yerushalayim is not divided into Shvatim? It's mitzad the fact that Yerushalayim has Kedusha in it. It's not a pistam that Yerushalayim is not divided into Shvatim, a separate union of the Kedusha. Mitzad the Kedusha of Yerushalayim, that's the sibah why it's not divided into Shvatim. Right? But in any of the places that you meisif on Yerushalayim, that doesn't necessarily apply. So according to what the Rebbe says, any time they will meisif on Yerushalayim, the chalakim that they will meisif, since it doesn't have the same level of Kedusha as Yerushalayim itself, so this concept that Yerushalayim was not divided into Shvatim doesn't necessarily apply to the areas that they will meisif on Yerushalayim. Because again, the chalukah of the Shvatim, that they did not divide Yerushalayim into Shvatim, and the Kedusha goes hand in hand. It wasn't divided into Shvatim because of the Kedusha. So anytime they will meisif on the cities of Yerushalayim, so it's not the same level of Kedusha, it's not a nitzchi as the Kedusha, and in those places, lav dafke, you can't divide it to Shvat. There's takasam mafarshim that say beferish, there's a maharit, there's a tshuva from the maharit, where he says beferish that the chalakim that you meisif on Yerushalayim could be divided to Shvatim. It's only the city of Yerushalayim itself that can't be divided into Shvatim. According to what the Rebbe says, you understand why he's saying so. Yerushalayim itself has one level of Kedusha, and that can't be divided into Shvatim. It's the special Kedusha. And then the Kedusha of the places that they add, that's a kind of Kedusha that is a lower level of Kedusha. And that's something that could be divided into Shvatim. Oh, tazay. So l'chayr, that's exactly what I was going to conclude. So l'chayr, you would think that la'asad love esid Yerushalayim shetis pashit is not the same level of kedusha as Yerushalayim itself. It's considered to be like the hisafa that they added in Yerushalayim. When all the Mefarshim talk about this question, they always equate it, that it's the same Indian like the hisafa. Just like there's the shayla when you get to the hisafa, it's the same thing also la'asad love. But according to the vart that the Rebbe is saying that there's a chiluk between a kedusha that comes milmayla or Kedusha that comes b'dei Adam, versteht that the Kedusha that was added in the past, b'dei Adam, and the Kedusha that the Eibush is going to add, b'dei Shemayim, la'asad is b'chlal not doim ezelazah. And la'asad lavi, once the Kedusha of Yerushalayim is going to be nispashet. In the whole Erets Yisrael, it's the same darga of Kedusha as Yerushalayim itself, just like Yerushalayim itself is a Kedusha min HaShemayim, a Kedusha min Mayla. The Kedusha of the whole Erets Yisrael is also a Kedusha min Mayla. The dimyan that they make to the Chalukah in the past doesn't apply b'chlal. Yeah. There's going to be cities around Yerushalayim. It'll be Soviv Erets Yisrael, which is now Yerushalayim. That's what it's going to be. Yeah, that's the story. Atkam. Okay, so I didn't look into that yet. Mitzvah next week, remember? Talk about the Asid and Batik Nesias.
But how was it originally that was part of Yosef and Binyamin?
Yes.
So the Kedusha wasn't there, then it came when
well, for hundreds of years, the Mishkan was not in Yerushalayim. It was in Shiloh, Noiv, Givain. So for all those years, the Eibishter's Nevuah that he chose Yerushalayim was not yet fulfilled, so Yerushalayim did not have the Kedusha. Only once Shlomo HaMelech built the Beis HaMikdash, then I had the Kedusha, and then Yerushalayim changed, and then the Chalukah was Nizbatla, as I was Mizagin. Yeah.